We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
No Brains, No Headache podcast, episode 165 starts right now. I'm your host today. My name is Jordan Weichel. Happy to be here. Damn glad to meet you. I'm also joined by my co-host, confident, longtime friend, Matt Cleary. We call him Ongo. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm getting back to my roots. I haven't bought beer for like my house in forever.
The podcast fridge has been empty for quite some time.
And so I went and bought beer at
The beer store?
I went to the gas station that's right by my house, and they finally got
The beer store.
30 racks of Busch Light, and it was like $26. And they got a new lady at the front desk or counter.
Got a new one, huh?
And one of those that's like way too excited about working at a gas station. And she was like, 30 beers for $26. Like super excited about it. I'm like, I don't know if you know this, but that's not very good.
No. Even just looking at the liquor prices for all sorts of things, you know, with my job, I've been studying that lately. It's like, oh, you're going to have to pay $3 a can for this product. I remember the good old days when
you'd give your buyer
60 cents a beer.
Yeah, you'd give them a crisp 20 for a 24.
That included
pack,
tip.
And that included tip.
You get dirty 30.
It was great. Like, it was one of those, like, Andy Bernard, like, I wish you could tell that you're in the good old days while you're in them.
Yeah.
The good old days when you could get shithouse
rack for 20?
Yeah.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Do I take 30 divided by 20? What?
No, it'd be 20 divided by 30.
20 divided by 30. Oh, yeah. 67 cents a can, bro.
We just had
to recycle it.
We just had to do math for what equated to 2/3.
Well, I wanted to be right. You ever have to do mental math and it's just like maybe 5 or 6 different numbers and you're like, you know what, I'm going to the calculator for this.
Or it's like moving a decimal and you're like, oh my God, I cannot handle this right now.
Hey, this is No Brains, No Headache podcast. If you don't like the show, that's on you for listening to a show called No Brains, No Headache.
Okay. Let's party.
But we got plenty to talk about.
Yeah, I was at...
sorry about that.
I was at where all good ideas come to a head. I was at a urinal.
Yeah.
And I was out at a golf course, and this guy goes...
Dude, sorry for interrupting you a moment ago, by the way. That was my bad.
I don't know. What'd you interrupt?
I don't know. It's on my mind.
Yeah, we're doing well. And this guy, first off, I start peeing, and he just lets this tugboat fart out. And I'm like...
Is this how we're going to start the episode this week? God damn it.
And, dude, I'm getting back to my roots. I'm drinking a couple beers. And this guy's like, I got to tell you something. And I'm like, oh, this should be good. It's 11 in the morning, and I don't want to be here. And this guy's like, if you drink just canned or bottled beer instead of tap beer, you don't get a hangover.
There's some truth to that, I think.
And I was like, I don't think I've ever tried that. So I'm like, you know what?
Experiment.
Today, I'm going to try that. And I'll be the first to tell you the next day, I've never been more hungover in my entire life.
So you did that the day you found out?
Yep.
It's like going shopping and buying a new clothes. You're like, well, I'm going to wear these immediately.
And I was like, I haven't drank today. And I was like, you know what? I'll give this a college try.
I got this good news that apparently not drinking draft will save me a hangover.
The guy had such scientific evidence to it. He said something about bubbles or something, and I believed him.
It's like John Taffer on Bar Rescue, showing you how to properly pour a beer.
Dude, there was a while when I saw that, like we dip the napkin in,
and it just foams up.
I didn't drink tap beer for a while because I was like, I can't trust these guys pouring my beer.
I mean, I will say that I prefer a bottle, I think. And I think maybe the Tiki Bar has a lot to do with that, spending our time there. It's like all you can really get is a bottle. But I prefer it lately. Plus, you go to some greasy joints. Oh, thank you. You go to some greasy joints. It's like, how can I trust these tap lines?
Yeah.
They got some, some Greek yogurt going on inside.
Honestly, like watching Bar Rescue will change the way you see bars. And like when you're going in and you're doing the scientific thing, you're like, oh, John Taffer would shut this place down.
Oh, I'm going to pull it up, bro. I got a sound clip for the ages once everything loads.
Yeah. But it's
talk.
It's nuts because I was like, okay, this guy who just damn near shit his pants at a urinal at 11 a.m. on a Thursday told me something. What am I going to do? I'm going to immediately try it and trust this guy who I don't know his name. And I was like, wow, that sounds really interesting. But after he farted, I was like, I can't do that when I pee because sometimes I shit my pants. And then he was like, it was clearly a joke. And he goes, dude, you might want to get that looked at. And I was like, well, that is also true. But literally, I was just, okay, I'm going to do this. I drank bottled beer or canned beer all day long. And yep, next day I woke up and I was like, fuck.
All right, I got John Taffer here.
We have glass in the ice bin. Shut down production. Drain all the ice out of the ice bin. Nothing can be sold.
I was playing scenes of Bar Rescue.
Absolutely shot. I can't.
Another one of my favorite thing is when people are like his spies go in and they're like, people are gonna get sick, and he like comes in, he's like, shut down the kitchen.
Well, I was looking for a shut it down.
And then he goes into the kitchen and the guy's just high as shit, like trying to cook like steak in an air fryer, and it's just like, yep, this guy's the worst.
I like the bottle recently, but at least we know now you did the experiment. You did it so the people, the fine listeners, the loyal listeners of No Brains, No Headache podcast didn't have to do it themselves.
But I've done it before, which is the dumb part.
Would you say you're a modern day vigilante?
I'm a vigilante. Vigil and an ante.
Going to do an Easter vigil and you played some poker?
I was texting I was actually texting Aaron Jans, who's been on the podcast before, and I was like, hey, we should start a poker night. And he was like, oh, I already have one.
Dude, how many times have we talked about starting a poker night?
It's the equivalent.
I'm tired of talking about it.
It's the equivalent of let's open a bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, you should do this. It's like, my neighbor, he's an insurance guy. And I was like, dude, that's my insurance guy. He's like, perfect. I'll tell you when the next one is. It's like small town, I guess.
Yeah, he also lives in Timbuktu.
Yeah.
So.
He's like, yeah, you have to damn near drive to South Dakota to get to my house. And it's like, well, it's not far off.
Halfway to Montana, you'll get yourself there. So, like we were talking about WeFest the last couple of weeks. These poor bastards, they fall in love with somebody at WeFest. And it's almost like going to the strip club. Have I mentioned this yet? Don't fall in love with somebody at WeFest, similar to don't fall in love with your stripper. It's just a common rule. Now I don't even know. I'm so confused. I feel like one of the homies is going through a WeFest depression, post WeFest depression.
He's locked in on a girl?
I think so. I'm just confused as to what's going on. So I was just gonna say a lot of WeFest breakups going on lately. We're coming off of it, about a week removed. A lot of STD tests getting filled out too.
But if they just had them like leaving WeFest, like how they converted the shower station into STD testing.
We should. I think that would be very efficient. But
my brother told me there was one time a guy that he went to college with, they were like, there's no way this guy doesn't have an STD, so they had like a betting pool going.
What do you mean there's no way this guy doesn't have an STD?
Because he was just banging anything with a pulse.
My name is Jeff.
And they were like, we'll pay for your STD testing. They had like a betting pool going, like if he had one or not. And he ended up
like certain types of it?
I think so. And he did have an STD.
Like herpes plus 200, chlamydia plus 350,
gonorrhea minus 400,
HIV plus 2,500.
It's like, yeah, I got a lot going on AIDS, but if that doesn't work out, I might actually have to try at school.
Put down 3 months of rent, payment on AIDS. So I could parlay that into 9 months of rent. Should be pretty responsible. So just a lot of breakups going on. Watch out for the depression. We're in the dog days of summer. Got to take care of it. Matt, I've noticed I haven't been seeing you very often. Good or bad? Overcook, undercook? What are we thinking?
I don't know. It's been okay. I've been.
I'm not asking you if you're okay. I'm asking what you think of the.
No, I said it's been okay.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't care if you're okay now. I'd prefer if you weren't. You do your best work when you're depressed.
It's true. Actually, I'm happiest when I'm depressed. I'm Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm happiest when I'm sick.
Why is he so depressed? Because he's happy.
Yeah. God, it's so fun.
Why is he so happy? Because he's depressed.
I mean, my reverse seasonal depression, it happens.
It's coming back right now. The other day, we had our last, here in North Dakota anyway, we had our last 9 p.m. sunset until 2024. So if that doesn't make you want to take a few shots of whiskey and call in sick to work a few days in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that's my drink peppermint schnapps until I can't feel my toes anymore type of weather.
But it is true. I was thinking it was just like, when it's so nice out, it's like, oh, man, I would love nothing more than to lay on the couch all day. And me, deep down, I can't do it. It's hard for me to do. It's like, God, it's sunny out. I don't want to take this for granted. You got the fall weather kind of coming in the air right now. It's sad to say that. We're in early to mid-August, depending on when the fuck you're listening. There's listeners out there right now, it's like February 2024. We are in the future right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we just went through a time portal, like just now.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
But whenever you're listening, I don't like to do it. It's all right, but I do enjoy coming to bother you at work. I think that's awesome.
I mean, it's yeah. When you actually came last Friday was after the test of drinking beers, and I was just so hungover.
Oh, that's when you did it?
Yeah.
Wow, you can hide a hangover pretty well, buddy.
Well, it's not much different than my normal just being myself.
Sluggish, dragging ass.
Just not wanting to do very much. It's pretty similar to my everyday life.
Short fuse.
Basically, if you want me to be a go-getter, you got to give me either Adderall or cocaine.
The Coca-China,
or
as they say.
42 beers. Sometimes I hit that like Nirvana point where it's just like, you want to drive to the Indian casino right now?
Yeah, we got to start hitting Nirvana more often. There's another word for that. It's called blackout.
Drinks Nirvana, otherwise known as not remembering anything you've done, which is actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I was actually this last Friday. I was consciously, I took it easy. I was like, I want to drive tonight. I offered some rides. I had 5 beers, and some people would be like, wow, that's kind of a lot of beers to be driving, but it was scattered throughout a few hours. I remember I had 5 because then you're forced to, at the venue I was at for some live music, watching our boys, the Rains, Joe and Mark and Matt and the fellas. They made you buy drink tickets, which actually helps you keep track of your drinking intake, I found out. So maybe that could be a little bit of a pro tip. Instead of pay with cash, just pay with fucking Monopoly money.
I actually do like it's the same with like casino chips. Like I would never put $25 down and be like, 1 hand of blackjack, please. But if I have chips, I'll do it all the time.
It's a real mental game, but bought a 5-packer of the tickets. Busch Light Peach, wow. Really good stuff. Just goes down like water. Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I actually had a sip of the Send It Cornhole Dude. It's beer.
You had a sip of his beer.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. Busch Light Peach, though, was pretty good. But then Saturday, I went to a concert out in West Fargo. Went and checked out Gary Allen. It proved to be a blast. But it was actually funny about Friday. I offered rides, and then I ended up just like staying out really late with the people I was giving rides to. Just like, I could have left at any moment, but I was like, it's kind of fun, watching your drunk friends be drunk. I thank you. What are your thoughts on being the sober one around all the drunkies?
I don't do it well.
You don't do it well.
No, because like My personality is so shitty that, like, to be the sober one is just, it's not me.
So you need alcohol to have fun.
No, I need to be on everyone else's level to have fun.
That is a very good way of putting it.
If we're all sober, I'm the funnest person there. If we're all drunk, I'm probably not the funnest person there. But if I'm like either the drunk one or the not drunk one.
You could go back to the marathon analogy of like, yeah, you don't need shoes to run a marathon, but it sure helps. It's like, well, if everyone's running a marathon and you're walking, how much fun is that? And it's going to take you a while.
Yeah.
To get to where they're at. That's a great analogy, Matt. Way to put it. But
that was your analogy.
yeah, you're welcome. But ended up getting a hotel room out in West Fargo, and classic first thing I looked for was like, does this thing have a hot tub? Like I need my hot tub time, and it did. And get back to the hotel at about 3 a.m., where my drunken mind says, you know what? I could talk the front desk person into letting me into the pool that closed like 4 hours ago. And I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got in. I don't think they were very impressed with me just doing cannonballs upon entering.
You kind of have to.
But you want to know the best, like, right when I got to hotels, I got to check out this pool and, like, just go get a little hot tub time.
First thing you do.
Yeah. Turn on the TV, leave the room, hit the hot tub. That's what I did. TV was on practically the whole time.
Turn on all the lights.
Yes. Every light needs to be on. Matter of fact, I start running the shower water sometimes. Just let her go. Leave the room. Not my problem. What am I paying for here? But good way to get rid of, like, everybody else in the pool, start doing cannonballs.
Yeah, my uncles are pretty good at that.
Well, I started doing cannonballs, and slowly people, like...
Oh, there was other people in the pool?
Not at 3 a.m., when I got there.
When you got there, okay.
There's a few different groups of people. I'm like, well, I'm going to break in this pool. I did a cannonball.
Just landed,
people just get
landed
up and
on
left.
a toddler.
Thank God there was no toddlers in there.
I hate kids in a pool because it echoes and you can hear it like throughout the whole thing so much.
That's why I don't think the front desk lady really appreciated my 3 a.m. cannonballs. But everybody should have been sleeping, okay? But I couldn't believe that I actually... She was so nice. She's like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I usually just don't like kids or drunk people in there. And I'm just like...
You're just covered in vomit? Yeah, those guys are the worst.
Like, what did you think? Came back at 3 in the morning. Like, yeah, no, I'm totally...
What do you think, I have a shift at the quarry next?
Just got done with my graveyard shift over at the quarry. A little pool time would be great, but no, it was fun. And yeah, do the cannonballs. It'll get rid of the people for sure.
I kept calling it the Woody Allen concert instead of Gary Allen.
Well, he did fuck up, and he called it... We're in West Fargo, North Dakota, technically. He said, South Dakota, how we doing? And I'm like, oh, God. And the crowd, they weren't too mad on the moment, but I could tell that it was hard for him to get the crowd back.
Just beer can hits him in the head. Did he have an opener or anything?
Yeah, I missed that.
Oh, okay, fair.
I was partying at my friend's apartment before the old show, but it was a good time, I guess. Free concert. It was the only reason I went. It's free.
Yeah.
Give me free tickets and I'll go. But let's get into it, shall we? Cleary's Comments. That's the segment where we banter about random things here on No Brains, No Headache podcast. Matt, myself, verbally harassing each other for the next, 45 minutes. But we talk a lot about algorithms on the show.
Ooh, I love them.
What's your algorithm like lately?
So it's been two things. One guy that spray paints planets on like a poster board and sells them on Etsy, and some dude that moderately looks like an older Hitler making milkshakes.
Like that's his thing, is just a milkshake page?
Yeah. And then he does like some drinks too. It's just this creepy old dude who's like, welcome to Milkshake Monday, and then makes a milkshake or Me too. Oh, God, it's just the worst thing ever. But I watch them to like completion every time.
Well, I've kind of turned my algorithm around just a little bit. I mean, it's still just full of hot Instagram models that I'll never meet, but also I've been getting a lot of golden retriever content lately. So entertaining.
I get a lot of corgi on my Instagram.
Yeah, you showed me your corgi shirt earlier, which is just brutal. Let's see, I'm going to pull it up right now. Oh, see, look at there's, amongst other things, there's a golden. More chicks. Barbie stuff. More chicks. I promise, dude, there's a lot more golden retriever. See, there's one. There's one right there.
That's a chick.
No, I'm pointing at that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. I'm more talking about my Facebook algorithm because I don't really go and like scroll Instagram anymore because I found out I was wasting so much time on it. But then thinking about it, now I'm just wasting more time on like my Facebook algorithm.
Facebook Reels.
Yeah. So it's just the same thing. And now I'm getting an old dude with a Hitler mustache making milkshakes.
Gotta watch out for it. I'd much rather have the golden retriever algorithm and content than the Hitler milkshake. This is interesting. You might have to show that to me after the show here. But
and it's super creepy. It's like this guy definitely is a registered sex offender.
Well, at least he's registered. Nothing in the rule book that says you can't be a registered sex offender and be an influencer as well.
Honestly, fair.
What about, I heard you're trying to pawn off Sandwich the Cat. Let's address that.
On who?
My boss.
Well, yeah, well, if they wanted another cat, they could have him.
You're just asking people if they want another cat.
Dude, I'm pretty sure his kidneys don't work or something because he is pissing like a freaking madman.
Yeah, I mean, you got to watch out for it.
I think he's also like 14 years old. I have no idea how old this cat is.
How long have you guys been together?
7 years? 8 years? I think I got him when he was like 2-ish. When I stole him from a family.
So the math to me says he's about 9 or 10.
Yeah, but he's got the kidneys of a 14-year-old
cat.
But apparently cats live until they're like 20.
Yeah, you might want to pawn him off. Put him on Facebook Marketplace.
I can't do it. I love him so much.
We'll talk about Facebook Marketplace later. I was just concerned why you would try to pawn off Sandwich the Cat.
I mean, I usually offer them to everyone, but when that cat dies, I'm definitely going to eat the end of a revolver.
Okay. A little bit of a depression. Let's move on that note.
The 2023 college football all-name team is back. There's a lot of names from last year's team on this. Like, you have your General Booty. He was around. Cavavius Smoke was around last year.
It's Cavassier.
Yeah, whatever. It's not going to matter. A couple newcomers to the team that I want to highlight is, I'm going to call them the Beers brothers. Not really sure if they're related, but Rowdy Beers and Rocky Beers.
Where's Rocky Beers?
He's on the honorable mentions.
Honorable mention. What about Buck Coors? He was on there last year.
He graduated.
He's honorable mention, Wyoming, defensive back.
Okay. But there's a lot of honorable mentions that were like starters last year. So, I mean, they got bucked out for Pig Cage from University of Texas, San Antonio.
You got Fish McWilliams.
He was on there last year.
Shida Silla.
He was on there last year.
Memorable Factor.
He's a new one and a good one.
Octavius Oxendine. Is that on like the
There's a couple of these guys though that are
table of elements or what?
So Juice Scruggs, who's on honorable mention, is going to be like a first round draft pick. Same with Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be like a top 10 pick. There was one guy on here that's just, his parents are definitely first cousins. He went to South Carolina, I think. Oh yeah, Hot Rid Fitton. That guy's parents just mouth breathers.
Extremely related, you would say.
Yes.
Blazin' Lonowong.
Is it Hawaiian?
Tonka Hemingway. Teammates with Hot Rid Fittin'. Ajao Ajao.
That's like a chew from Men in Tights.
Snoop Leota Amama.
Meatball Smith is just a classic.
Male Sala Omave Lalu.
Stone Handy. If your football career doesn't work out for you, porn. Squirrel White.
Maximilian von Marburg.
That guy's parents definitely started a Ponzi scheme and are in prison.
Javensky Schlenbaker. Nemo Squire. Mobility. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's like Bumper Pool from last year, who signed with the Panthers.
Your favorite team.
Parker Titsworth, he's classic.
How much are the tits worth?
And he's number 69, of course.
And he goes to Ohio.
What? How would you say the honorable mention running back's name under Nemo Squire?
I already did that one. Javensky Schlenbaker.
He's a black Jew.
Demon Clowney. New Zealand Williams.
He was on the team last year. Ephesians Prysock.
Comanche Francisco.
Pig Cage is just a classic. Dude Person.
Where's he at?
Starting defensive back for the first team defense.
Dude Person. Okay. My favorite would probably have to be Javensky Schlenbaker.
I really like, and this guy has a huge dong, Hans Hammer.
Where the fuck is he at? Where are you seeing these people?
Honorable mention O-line.
Hans Hammer. Isaiah Bowler Dick from Charlotte.
Charlotte has a couple of them on here, I
We
think.
got the Beer Brothers and the Dick Brothers.
Yeah, Demon Clowney and Titsworth or whatever. Stone. Charlotte has a ton of them.
Shouldn't Hans Hammer and Isaiah Bowler Dick play for Arkansas, the Hogs?
I mean,
Or
they're
or
playing
perhaps the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Hogs versus the Cocks. It's a great rivalry.
Could be a good one.
Honestly, I think the worst one is Mobility because he's not even at a school right now. He's in the transfer portal and no one's picked him up.
Does he have quick feet? Defensive back. Mobility.
Probably not.
Well, we got some more NCAA football chat coming up in a little bit here. But, Matt, what's the deal with motorcycles?
God, I don't know. I will not begin to even know why Sturgis is a thing.
That's what I have. Sturgis is happening, or I don't really know. I feel like it just goes on forever. Never really stops. But then people are doing burnouts in Sturgis. Why?
Because they want to spend $400 to get a new motorcycle tire. And so they have a tiny dick.
But I didn't understand. I saw a video of it, and then it's like everybody else has their phone out, and they're like taking a video of the motorcycle doing a burnout.
I just don't. It's like a motorcycle rally, but I would say 50% of the people that go to Sturgis for it probably don't even own a motorcycle.
I mean, I don't. I would probably go check out Sturgis. Probably not, actually.
It's so expensive to stay there. Like people, so the Augusta rule is you can rent out your house for 1 week a year and not pay taxes on it. The second,
Augusta, Georgia.
yeah, for the Masters. And The second biggest place that rule is used is around Sturgis.
So how does that work? Explain that to me really quick.
So you can rent out your house, and let's say I rent out my house for $5,000 for that 1 week.
Oh, you don't get taxed on that.
Nope, you can take it tax-free.
Oh, great.
So that's why people in Augusta and Sturgis just vacate. They take all their shit, put it in a storage locker, rent out their house, thing gets destroyed, they get their deposit back, rebuild their house for the next 6 months.
Do it all over again the next year.
The only thing I knew about Sturgis, like before, was that they used to have like a TV show on like True TV about a bar there, and it was an absolute just fuck fest.
Full Throttle Saloon?
Yep. And they had really good wrestlers there because I used to wrestle some guys from Sturgis, and they used to just kick the shit out of me. In my defense, most people kick the shit out of me in wrestling, but Sturgis was another level.
Not a fair comparison at all.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't understand. Like, why? What are the point of burnouts? Honestly, what are the point of motorcycles? I still, to this day, I'm having a hard... I don't get it. I don't understand.
Because I don't think they're very good on gas.
I don't know. I guess you get to feel the wind blowing in your hair. Blow dryer does the same thing.
I mean, they're fun to ride,
Roll down
I
your
guess.
window. How fun are they?
I don't know. I have a lot of fun riding a moped.
That's true. Maybe we shouldn't give motorcycles such a hard rap. Maybe it's the The motorcycles aren't the problem.
It's the people. It's guns don't kill people. People kill people. Motorcycles aren't assholes. People are assholes.
That's true. I'm going to...
Because I know a lot of people that have motorcycles that it's not their, like...
It's not their whole life.
It's not their identity. I think it's people that make it their identity is like, But then I also know people that, like, are big motorcycle guys that I'm just like, okay, that's pretty cool, dude.
Okay, that's pretty badass. I don't know.
Most of them are like army vets or something that could just kill me, so I have to be nice to them.
But if you're a motorcyclist and you're also blaring your tunes, your radio on your motorcycle so loud that it has to drown out the sound of your motorcycle and the wind in your ears, I don't see the point of that.
I hate those people that, like, when they're sitting at a stoplight and you can just hear their music, and it's like, you can't hear any of that.
Let's go slash some tires. Then they can't do a burnout, and then they're going to have to buy a tire anyway.
Because if you slash one of the tires on my car, I can still limp home. If I slash one of the tires on your motorcycle...
You can't still limp home. You'll ride on a rim.
Jordan, have you seen Jeepers Creepers 2?
I have, actually. I haven't even seen Jeepers Creepers 1, but...
Jeepers Creepers 2, they limp home on... Well, actually, another tire gets popped and a lot of people die. But...
Yeah, because Jeepers Creepers keeps throwing fucking throwing stars at their tires to stop them so he can kill them.
One time on a first date, I watched Jeepers Creepers 2.
You guys still together?
No, it didn't last very long.
Oh, I wonder why.
It's weird. I put out all my moves.
What about titty tassels? It's a big thing in Sturgis.
I mean, I'm not gonna say
No.
I'm not gonna say no, but then part of me might say no because I think part of me might be gay.
Yeah, Matt was trying to bang his dishwasher earlier. We don't know what he is.
I'm like non-binary.
He also showed me that shirt about the corgis.
Okay, that's a good shirt.
It's pretty gay.
Damn it. I do have some other gayer shirts, I think.
Well, we might have to get into those sometimes. I don't understand motorcycles, okay? Or, excuse me, cyclists. I don't get them. What's the point?
I don't get the people that ride electronic bikes and say that they're exercising.
Do they claim that?
Yes. There was this one lady who said she biked over 2,900 miles in a summer. And I was like, wow, that's really impressive. It was all on an electric bike. And I don't know if you've ridden any of those electric bikes. You can literally just drive them like a moped. And it goes 20 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, I see them out all the time. I'm trying to see if we can get some sort of news story here. Ooh, excuse me.
It's like calories burned, 35. If you weren't sitting on this thing, you probably would have burned 32 calories.
It's like, I'm going for a bike ride. It's like, yes, you will be riding.
Can you come pick me up? My bike died. It's like, or
how many miles can you travel on a bike in a day? 70.
No, my brother rode from here to Jamestown in a day, and Jamestown to Fargo in another day.
They should write an article.
Do you want a tandem bicycle to Jamestown one time?
Do we have a tandem bike?
Yeah, my mom still has one.
Is it the one that we took?
Absolutely. Then just popped a tire.
Yeah, Matt and I set out one day. We even woke up early on a Saturday. We're just youngsters. We're like, hey, let's go on a tandem bike ride like friends do. Let's get outside, let's get some exercise, go see the town. Let's go out and about. And 3-4 blocks later, one of the tires was flat, ended up pushing back a tandem bike. That sucked. But at least we laughed at it. Moving on to O.J. Simpson.
Well, first off, O.J. Simpson came out and said, because Henry Ruggs, Raiders wide receiver drafted in the first round, who killed some lady in a drunk driving accident, was sentenced to 3 to 10 years. And O.J. Simpson, of all people, chimed in and said, I don't think he got sentenced for long enough. Albeit, I am a big O.J. didn't do it guy. But if there's anyone in the world that should be commenting on, did they get enough prison time, OJ is in the top 10.
That shouldn't be commenting?
Yeah, on people's prison time.
But if anything, he would be a good source. It's like he's done prison time.
For sports memorabilia theft.
Yeah, not for murder.
He got away with arguably one of the biggest murders in history.
How long was O.J. Simpson in jail?
I think 10 years.
How long was O.J. Simpson chase?
And you can make a strong argument that O.J. Simpson's son was the one that killed.
9 years.
I was way off.
O.J. served 9 years.
But how this came up is because
Takes one to know one.
I have my O.J. Simpson lithograph that you can't see on this, but I was so I used to get drunk and go on pristineauction.com.
You don't do that anymore?
No, I'd buy dumber shit.
Still drink, you just go to Amazon Prime now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. And I was like, oh, I won this O.J. Simpson, so I was like, I'll continue to drink. But then I'm like, I have the worst ever reasons to drink. And we used to do it in college all the time, where you'd be like, it's Tuesday, let's get shithoused. I literally went and drank because my sister had a meeting.
Why did you go drink?
I don't know. That was my excuse to, let's go down to the bar and have a couple and eat some pretzels.
You don't need an excuse to go to the bar. You can just do it for the love of the game.
Yeah. Well, now that you say that, I don't feel so bad.
I've been debating if I want to do a sober September. I haven't made my decision yet, but if I do, I'm going to announce it in 2 weeks.
I was thinking about doing a dry January, but then I probably won't.
Yeah, no, you can't plan out a sobriety 4 months ahead of time, I don't think. I mean, you can, but I think the only way I would get mine to work is by announcing it via this podcast and having the loyal listeners hold me to it. But I might do, might do sober September, but we have a comedy show coming up on September 29th. We'll announce that officially later in the show.
You just do what Kref did and just drank because he was like, close enough.
Well, that would be, let's see here, 1, 2, 4 weeks of sobriety. That's good enough.
Yeah, if it was February, you passed.
And it's going to be right during when NFL starts, which is never great. Ooh, September 15th, first day of Hispanic Heritage Month, which which I don't understand because it's the 15th day of September. That doesn't add up.
Do they have a
Ooh,
different...
September 16th, Rosh Hashanah.
Ooh, yep. I'm no good that day.
September 25th, Yom Kippur.
I tried to get that off at work, but apparently I could. I just couldn't take Christmas off.
September 28th, Thomas Stromi's birthday. Okay. I got all the important days in September locked down.
Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and Thomas Stromi's birthday.
I'm no good those days. Columbus Day, October 9th. Anyway, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. Yeah, Matt, you don't need an excuse to go to the bar. You can just do it. If you ever need somebody to go with, let me know, unless I'm being sober. Then I'll go, but I guess I'm just going to drink fucking Shirley Temples till I get sick. I've done that before.
Have you?
Yeah, dude. The first few times I opened mic, the dude kept... He did not let my Shirley Temple get less than 25%.
I do
full.
hate that. All you can, like, I will tell you when I want another soda.
I'm okay with it, but they were so good. I sucked down about 4 Shirley Temples one Monday evening, and I was like, oh my God, this is not good.
Gut bomb population, this guy.
I think I topped it off with some cheese pizza. It's like 4 Shirleys and a cheese. It'll make you feel like you're hungover.
Also, 14 canned beers will also make you feel hungover.
Well, I think I could also do the, just have like an NA beer. I bought somebody an NA beer this last weekend. I was like, hey, can I get you a drink? And because, I like to, I'm generous. I like to, get people things. And yeah, I bought this person a non-alcoholic beer. Felt pretty good about it.
You want to talk some football?
We could. We already kind of did, but Johnny Manziel has got his documentary out on Netflix right now. It's Untold is like the name of the thing, of the singy.
Of the series on Netflix. It's called
Untold Johnny Football. The description is this documentary traces the meteoric rise and precipitous fall of football star Johnny Manziel via interviews with friends, coaches, and Manziel himself. It's on Netflix, came out on August 8th. A lot of football content coming out right now as we get closer to the season. But yeah, Matt and I watched the Johnny Manziel documentary. We're going to give you our review, our thoughts, might be a few spoilers. Looks like you got something to say.
I have a bone to pick about the meteoric rise. There was nothing meteoric about, like, if you remember watching Johnny Manziel play against Alabama when he was a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
That was an electric factory that hasn't been matched in sports since. There's nothing like the hype of, like, you can argue maybe Joe Burrow, you could argue maybe some of the Olympics, but there hasn't been anything since that, like, 2012, 2013 Johnny Manziel.
So it would be meteoric.
There was nothing mediocre about it.
No, I said meteoric. A meteor?
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't say mediocre. Meteoric. Like big.
Yeah.
So do you have a bone to pick about? You look embarrassed.
What, did you say meteoric? Meteoric?
Meteoric.
Is there 2 words?
You're thinking mediocre. I'm thinking meteoric.
All right, we can look up the definition.
Meteoric, which is just relating to meteors or meteorites. Oh, great. Very fast. What does it mean to be meteoric? Very fast.
I thought it was mediocre. Okay, well then I'm dumb.
Yeah, no, we've established that probably 164 episodes ago.
That was the first episode.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I digress.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Yes, there was nothing mediocre about it. There was everything meteoric about it because he was a redshirt freshman. Texas A&M didn't know who their quarterback was going to be going into the 2012 season. Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback before that. And Johnny Manziel gets thrown in there as a redshirt freshman, meaning literally, wait, if he's a redshirt freshman, does that mean he already had a year?
He had a redshirt year, so he was on the team. He just didn't play.
So meaning a redshirt freshman was his second year on the team, but technically his first year of eligibility?
That he played, yep.
Yes. All right, so he's a redshirt freshman, came in the season, just killed it. It was like his second game of the season. I think they lost their first one. Second game of the season, puts up some serious numbers. The week he played Arkansas, he broke Archie Manning's 43-year-old total offense record when he produced 557 yards of total offense.
Video game numbers.
Yeah, I actually do remember watching Johnny Manziel, live and while he was doing it, and that was pretty amazing.
He didn't care. It seemed like he just wanted to just ball.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do because the dude loved to party. I mean, it's established pretty early.
So his old agent, he's like, yeah, Johnny always had the saying, win or lose, we still booze. It's like, well, that was a saying, but Johnny Manziel lived up to that.
Why not? You're in college. You're 19 years old. Play for Texas A&M. Who gives a shit?
And I mean, he got arrested wearing a Scooby-Doo costume, and then he just played in the game
On a Friday night and Saturday.
And then the next day, everyone, there was thousands of people in the stands that were dressed as Scooby-Doo. No one gave a shit. They were just like, this guy's going to ball. Who cares what he does?
Yeah, Texas A&M definitely went along with it and embraced it to a certain degree, I think, where he's like, oh, I could probably do this. Nobody cares. But he also, his coach at the time, offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury.
Good looking coach.
Yeah, ex head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury seems like the coolest coach ever.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Sumlin, who went to my alma mater or coached there for a bit, kind of just seemed like a wet blanket. It just was whatever.
Well, it was their first season playing in the SEC, so Texas A&M really had nothing to lose. Started playing teams like Florida, Arkansas. Really stepped it up the game that they played against Alabama. They ended up winning, let's see here. Bama.
It was 52 to 48.
It was 29-24.
That was close.
So, yeah, he beat Alabama 29-24. They were number one in the country at the time. It was on the road in Alabama. And that's really where he, I think, just took the next step. They ended up going 11-2. They won their bowl game, I believe. And then Johnny Manziel ends up being the first ever freshman to win the Heisman Trophy. He also beat out the likes of Colin Klein and Manti Te'o.
Okay.
Your boy Manti Te'o.
First off, I like Colin Klein more than I like Manti.
First off, who the fuck is Colin Klein?
Quarterback for Kansas State. His nickname was Optimus Klein, and he literally was the whitest person ever, but he would run so much. He was just he was the Max Dugan of his era. He just didn't belong there, and there's no reason why he should be as good as he was, but he was awesome. And Manti Te'o had a fake girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm looking up Colin Klein. Had no idea who this person was.
Definitely sells insurance now.
He is a coach
of an insurance company.
Offensive coordinator, Kansas State in January 2022.
So Colin Klein passed away recently. I mean,
he did not.
I have a couple highlights from the Johnny football documentary.
Well, Matt, now is the time to say those highlights. That is what we've been talking about for 5 minutes now. Welcome to the conversation.
So his grandpa writing checks to him after he gives him $10,000 cash, and his family claiming to be oil rich because Johnny can't control what he's spending.
Well, that was actually his his longtime friend and unofficial agent at the time.
Did you catch it in the documentary that Johnny's like, yeah, I haven't talked to him since?
Yeah, no, I definitely caught that. That was a pretty big part of the documentary.
Okay, maybe I thought I was just catching things, but...
Matt, are you illiterate? Do you know how to read or write?
Jordan,
I am concerned.
You did math for 2/3 earlier in the episode.
Oh, I did it right, didn't I?
You did it on your phone.
Don't work harder, work smarter. I used my calculator to figure out how many times 20 went into 30.
I'm getting blackout drunk tonight.
That's fine. You're getting back to your roots. Yeah, I definitely remember that part where his best friend and unofficial agent, once Johnny Manziel decides to go to the NFL, they just cut him out of his life. And both the guys said, I haven't talked to him since. Did
you get very much Friday Night Lights vibes from him?
His buddy?
No, from Johnny. He was literally just I don't need to he literally at one point said, fuck your practice, I'm the best player in the country.
It's like he's Tim Riggins and Smash Williams wrapped into one who plays quarterback. I mean, yeah, if you put it that way, for sure. That's the best part about Johnny Manziel. But real quick, back to what we were just saying. Yeah, his best friend came up with the rumor, and the guy even in the documentary says, and it still holds to this day, because people, you'd ask him, be like, oh, Johnny Manziel comes from a rich oil family. He just made up that narrative, which was
also
smart as hell.
Johnny's dad did not give a shit. He was ride or die. It's
until they all gave up on him.
Yeah,
told him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, you guys have oil money, right? I don't know. Johnny gave me $10,000 last week, so I guess we got oil money.
Call it whatever you want. Yeah, but Johnny Manziel definitely did not give a shit. That's what made him great. Your believe thing is crooked. But that's the best part. I think that's deep down as Americans, as cold-blooded Americans, we know, we like to party. We like to have a good time. We like to embrace success and being authentic to oneself. So when Johnny Manziel came along, he's like, you know what? I'm not this classic college football quarterback player. I don't read my playbook. He said he never read his playbook.
The fact, when they go to the Browns, and they're like, his iPad time was 0. And then he chimes in, he's like, oh yeah, I didn't read any of it.
Yeah, gets to the Browns. The GM is calling his agent saying that Johnny doesn't even watch any sort of film, and then the agent's like, he's got to watch a little bit, and they have a tracker on his iPad of 0.0.
But going in, the draft stories, going up to him getting drafted, how he's he straightens out his life, and then he the week before the combine goes on just this huge bender, and then his agent at the time is drug testing him in the hotel room, and he's chugging water trying to pass it, and he's it's getting a little less, and then they're all right, he's not gonna pass it, and then he calls his dad, he's you gotta fake a heart attack, go to the hospital. It's the stories that come out of this documentary are insane. He goes and visits Houston, who's the number 1 pick, and they were had a really good visit. Johnny might go number 1 overall. And then that same day, he went and visited the Houston Texans. He went to the owner's who had the owner's golf course that he had a membership at, and Johnny got wasted, and by hole 5, they said he had his shirt off and was breaking clubs and throwing them into the pond.
I don't see any problem with that.
And it's all right, well, he's not going to Houston anymore.
He's a competitive guy. He's just getting upset. He wasn't striking the ball the way he wanted to.
And when he was in college, he would do this, which I think is the coolest part of the documentary that I really latched onto, was when he was doing all the autograph signings, and he would this is something that I just think is awesome, that he would go in to a hotel room, he wouldn't meet anyone, and there would be a bunch of stuff on the bed for him to sign. He would sign all of it, take a picture of himself, and they showed the picture of everything signed, and then he would text that to the guy, and the guy would give him the code to the safe, and then he would take out like 30 grand cash.
There's going to be a movie about this, not a documentary.
It would be a fantastic movie.
Yeah, a lot of shitty movies these days. We need something good.
But then, like, going into, I think it was like his pro day or something, because he like missed his pro day, and so he like set up his own. But then he didn't have anyone to like throw his. So his agent and his lawyer were the ones catching passes.
It's got to be so embarrassing.
Like at the same point, it's like you're like, hey, Doug, I know you're getting like 5% of what Johnny makes, but we're gonna need you to strap on some gloves, put on some shorts, and go out there and run a slant.
But how does that accurately show like if he's any good? Because it's like these guys are much slower.
And they can't catch.
Their footwork's not great. They just got these middle-aged lawyers and agents just running routes for a college football quarterback.
Or when he was in the NFL and he went to Vegas on a Saturday and like drank and was gambling and wore a wig and like a mustache. I remember that story. It was so fun. And it was just a comically bad, like fake disguise.
Like how hard, like how much do you have the desire to party where you're like, you know what, I'm going to go out in a wig and a mustache. Like that would just be uncomfortable.
And then he said he couldn't figure out a red-eye flight back to Cleveland. So he like was like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to miss the game. And just didn't go.
I guess that part, like I said earlier, I wasn't really paying attention when I rewatched it.
Yeah, he went to Vegas, like, so they practice Friday and they have like Saturday off, or they had like Saturday walkthroughs in the morning, and then he literally went to Vegas and just drank and gambled under this fake mustache hairpiece Johnny Manziel, and then like couldn't figure out a red-eye flight or like a private jet, so he was like, okay, I'm just gonna miss the game. I'm just not gonna go to the game. It's like, oh,
it's just like a spoiled and lazy like sixth grader who like begs their mom to play football and then like skips the game.
I don't know. I got a dilly bar.
Yeah.
They're gonna have orange slices at halftime, but we have orange slices at home.
We have orange slices at home. And then Johnny Manziel, he gets drafted 22nd overall by the Cleveland Browns. Classic. The Browns are dumb enough to take him because he kept falling the day of the draft. And I remember his dad was like, in his little interview part during that part of the documentary, was like, yeah, teams really did their homework. Like realizing that he's just not a good fit.
He was talking, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Dallas at 16. And then Dallas takes Zach Martin,
yes,
who's like a all-pro guard. It's like,
and you can hear in the crowd, some of the crowd is booing the pick of Zach Martin. And yeah, he's probably one of the best offensive linemen since.
And the Browns trade up from 26 to 22 and they take him. They just go nuts. And it's like, you guys don't know what you're getting right now.
Zach Martin was named to the NFL 2010's All-Decade team.
Otherwise known as pretty good.
So I pulled up the 2014 NFL draft here, Matt, just to see. The first pick was Jadeveon Clowney to the Houston Texans. Do you remember who the second pick was?
Who's the team?
St. Louis Rams.
Greg Robinson?
Yeah.
And then it was...
Jaguars.
That would have been Blake Bortles.
Then the Bills.
No idea.
Sammy Watkins.
Ooh. Oh, this was the weird receiver draft because didn't Corey Davis go 8?
Who?
Corey Davis went 8.
I don't think he's in this draft.
Okay, then I'm way off.
We got like Khalil Mack, Jake Matthews. Then the Buccaneers take Mike Evans, who was Johnny's teammate at Texas A&M. 7 overall. The beloved Vikings take Anthony Barr. Taylor Lewan, 11 overall to the Titans. I didn't realize he was... Odell to the Giants. Aaron Donald to the Rams.
Who did the Panthers take at like 29, like Star Lutulolo?
Kelvin Benjamin, wide receiver from Florida State.
Oh my God, that might be a bigger miss than Johnny Manziel. That guy's fat as shit.
the Cincinnati Bengals, 24th overall pick. This guy could be on the all-name team. Darqueze Dennard.
Darqueze not going to work here anymore because he didn't work out in the NFL.
But yeah, you had Bortles at 3, and then they didn't pick another quarterback until Manziel at 22. Then the beloved Vikings took Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Checkdown at 32, Derek Carr at 36. Yeah, and it was just it was a wild draft. Best pick of the draft is probably round 2, pick 53. Green Bay Packers took Devontae Adams.
Fair.
I would say. Or there's a really good one way down here. Devonta Freeman, 103 overall to the Falcons. Or Packers took a guy named Corey Linsley, 161, went on to be a Pro Bowler. You also had Zach Mettenberger, another quarterback, David Fales. I don't know. A lot of quarterbacks.
Should we get into some Facebook Marketplace and get the hell out of here?
Yeah, we could, but check out the Johnny Manziel documentary. Also have Hard Knocks on right now. I watched the first episode, didn't get the most recent one, but what are your quick thoughts on Hard Knocks with the New York Jets?
I do love that they mentioned basketball and Austin Powers Gold member. Also, DeMarcus Ware has the voice of an angel singing the national anthem in their preseason game.
What's the guy's name? Hard Knocks. Leaf.
Lee Striver.
What the fuck? How didn't he come up? Leave
Striver. He plays in Wolverine. He plays his brother.
Leave Schreiber.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I love how they brought him like onto the show. And then when you hear him talk, when he's just like chit-chatting with the boys, his voice is like definitely different. I feel like he slows it down and rumbles it a little bit more for the Hard Knocks effect.
Well, apparently that he was just there and they're like, hey, we got to bring you in on a helicopter. So he literally had to leave, get on a helicopter, and then come back.
Oh, did he?
It's like part of me be like, it's sweet to ride a helicopter, but I feel like that guy's been in a helicopter before.
Johnny Manziel documentary, Netflix, Hard Knocks, HBO. If you love the football content, the football shows, you're going to love those. And that is our assessment on it. Facebook Marketplace, every week we like to go through the doozies that Facebook Marketplace leaves us. If you were on the Facebook, you'll know that there is a lot of stupid stuff out there. What do you got for me?
First one was that I sent you was looking for a licensed pet sitter to come in routinely 2 to 3 times a day from a time. And this Tia girl is asking again.
Thanks in advance.
Do you have to be licensed to be a pet sitter? Because most of the time people just pay like either the 12-year-old that lives across the street or a drunk guy that they know that's like, you don't have a lot going on. That's why I get asked to pet sit quite a bit.
Wait, where are you at? I sent you a picture of a hot dog. Oh, there it is. Yes, looking for a licensed pet sitter to come in routinely 2 to 3 times a day from August 30th to September. Okay, just September in general.
Yeah.
Fucking Tia, dude. Wants to remain anonymous, and her name is Tia. Stupid.
The other one that came up was asking if a place would hire people with piercings and tattoos.
I have one facial tattoo and some facial piercings, but none of it is inappropriate. Rebecca, our new favorite person, we might have to get her on the show.
Yeah. You can call them and ask. Thank you.
I think when you sent me that message, I said, get Rebecca on the podcast.
She also looks kind of hot, so...
Probably going to be a hard no. But yeah, she said you can call them and ask. It's like, thank you. I also sent Matt a picture of a hot dog. I'm pretty hungry now.
Yeah.
Let's take this last one. You got it.
Was this the woman chart?
Yes. She looks frightened in her mugshot.
Yeah. This isn't really like Facebook Marketplace, but this lady was charged with child neglect because they found her child playing on a skid steer loader outside of an apartment building wearing a dirty diaper. First off, kids always has a dirty diaper, so that could have been left off. Second of all,
This poor girl.
yeah,
Look, she is crying so much, it looks like she's sweating on her shirt.
she might be sweating.
She could be sweating.
She
It could be sweat.
as someone that's not in great shape, she does not look to be in great shape.
I got into a group message or your message that you sent me. Yeah, poor woman, mugshots. I'm just saying, if you have the peace of mind, you're currently, being arrested, facing incarceration, some sort of charge is coming against you. Just, I want you to mentally prepare for it, okay? There is a mugshot coming, okay? And if you got a little bit of mascara on you, now's the time to put it on, okay? If you got some sort of clippers and you need to trim up the beard, it might be a little hard while you're sitting there in booking with cuffs behind your back, but time to tidy up the facial because you're about to get a mugshot. That's going to be probably all over the news. And this poor woman, I mean, sheesh.
Maybe she was just playing some pickup basketball on the roof of the detention center. We don't know at this point.
Pickup basketball in jail is fun. But another pro tip for you from somebody who has experience in this department, let the other people win. Okay, I did a quick 26 hours one time, and we were playing tip 21, right? Turns out the guys I was playing with weren't pretty good, they weren't good at all. And I was dominating. I went out to a 16-point lead, and there I am in the corner of the key. And I'm like, you know what? I should maybe slow down just a touch. And it's hard to purposely miss wide open layups. I mean, these guys were not good. And it took forever. I jumped to my 16-point lead, and then I was throwing the game. We used up all of our rec time before somebody even finally got 21. I'm like, thank God. You get 21, I don't get shanked. Because I'm almost out of here. My 26 hours, almost up. Also, pro tip, give away all your meals. You'll lose weight, gain respect. Yeah, Jordan's on a new diet. It's called
going to prison.
It's called incarceration.
I've always wanted to poop in one of those aluminum toilets, though.
Not great. It is not great when your black cellmate is staring at you the whole time. And that's why you don't eat. Give away your meals, gain respect. You don't have to take a dump in front of random criminals.
Win, win, win.
Hey, it's no brains, no headache. You come here for the pro tips. And if you're about to be incarcerated, remember, there's a mugshot coming. Freshen up a little bit. Put on a little nose powder. You know what I mean? If you're going to play rec sports, let them win. It might be difficult, but let them win. Give away your meals. Lose weight, gain respect.
Gotta respect that.
I think that's our show. Comedy Night 5, official announcement right now.
You know, smoke a little grass or drink a little ripple, crow like a rooster, maybe challenge the mayor's son to a gentleman's duel as uncouth against God.
Comedy Night 5, Friday, September 29th here in Bismarck, North Dakota. So if you're in the area, you want to see us do some comedy, Friday, September 29th is the date to do so. It'll be at Dakota Stage Theater on Main Street here in Bismarck. More details will be revealed as we get closer, but we've locked in the date, Comedy Night 5. Matt and I are going to keep doing it because why not? It seems to be a pretty good time. Last time we did it at that venue, had a blast, and hopefully Matt doesn't have to go on a road trip the very next day.
If you want to hear more about Comedy Night 5 and the podcast, make sure to follow us on social media at NBNH Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And guys, leave us a review on what is it, Apple?
You could email us if you want. Didn't somebody email us something about WeFest or something?
They were supposed to, but they didn't. At NBNH Podcast at gmail.com if you want to send us an email. We might answer it. We
Why
might
are you
read
talking
it.
so funny?
I don't know. I'm doing this thing. Let's get out of here. I want to go home.
Episode 166 up next.
This is a freestyle off the top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again, 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 again. I do it only once. Again, 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 again. I do it only once. I go down that river slow to the place I shoot like Carmelo. I'm living my life and we go hard, floating on the river in a party barge. And I see you on a sea-doo. Your shirt was white and it was see-through. Please use your spray, no mosquitoes. Every time you found me, it's a free throw. Hey girl, why you calling me? I said, oh please don't bother me. I'm so sick of apologies. That's so damn appalling to me. But last night was the best night that I have ever lived. Then I woke up all choked up and realized it was a fib.